Look at that gorgeous dish. This is a scalloped potatoes au gratin. So we have a beautiful creamy cheese sauce with a crusty layer of panko over the outside on beautifully sliced potatoes. And folks, let me tell you something. That right there is a dish that you will remember and want to make over and over again. Today I'm going to make some scalloped potatoes. Or is it potatoes au gratin? Or is it a potato casserole? Wow. You know, sometimes the names can throw you on things. I had a person tell me once the difference between scalloped potatoes and potatoes au gratin is that au gratin has cheese. Au gratin means with cheese. Well, that's not really true. Au gratin is a French term. Au gratin is this French term that means with a crispy topping. Scalloped potatoes gets its name, scalloped, from the shape of the edges of the cut potatoes. Once they're laid in the pan and it's been baked, it looks like a scalloped edge. So they call them scalloped potatoes. It's not a measure of the way it's sliced or anything like that. Of course, we do make slices to make that shape, but yeah, that's not what it means. So what we're going to be doing today is going to be a sliced potato recipe that involves cream and cheese and a crispy topping, and the whole thing is just downright delicious. So let me show you my recipe and show you a fantastic tasting potatoes au gratin. Or is it scalloped potatoes? Or is that a potato casserole? Oh. Come over here, let me show you. Now folks, this is a potato dish, so it all starts with the taters. Now what I did is I just went out and bought a large bag, the cheapest bag I could find of potatoes, and they're little russet potatoes. And the best part is these small potatoes like this make the perfect size crosscut for scalloped potatoes. They're not too big in diameter. The russets cook evenly and they make a wonderful flavor for this dish. They also have a good amount of starch, which is beneficial to this particular dish overall. So I'm going to use these. Other ingredients that we have today are some flour, panko breadcrumbs, butter, salt. I have a couple of different kinds of cheeses here. You can use whatever you want, but today I'm going to be using cheddar cheese. This is sharp cheddar, and I'm going to be using, believe it or not, some Gouda. This is shredded Gouda cheese, and I'm going to do a combination for a fabulous flavor. You can use any kind of cheese you want. It can be American cheese. I wouldn't use that. You can use Jack cheese, you know, or Colby cheese. You could use Swiss cheese, Emmentaler, like Jarlsberg. You can use a lot of different kinds of cheese, folks, and they will all work well as long as it's a good melting cheese. Some cheeses don't melt properly, you know, like feta, so it probably wouldn't work in this one. So get a good melting cheese that'll combine well with cream, and you're going to need some heavy cream, and that's what I have here. This is whipping cream. That's our ingredient list. Now let me get busy cooking this up. I need to first peel these and then get them sliced so we can get busy cooking this dish up. I have my potatoes all washed and peeled, and they're ready to be sliced for scallops. Choose whichever method you want, whether it be by a knife, mandolin, or by an electric slicer. Either way, it's all going to work out for you, but get those suckers sliced. You want about 1/4 of an inch thick. I have just finished slicing up those potatoes. They're in that bowl. Now I'm going to take these other ingredients. We're going to make a wonderful cheese sauce. Something I didn't mention earlier was garlic. I like garlic sometimes. So I'm going to put just a little bit of garlic right here, and I want to cook that with my butter before making the roux for my sauce. It's just that simple, folks. A simple garlicky flavor is imparted in the easiest way. Crush those cloves, cook them with the butter for a moment, discard them, and make your roux. Once you have all of those ingredients combined into a beautiful sauce, then you're going to want to combine the sauce with your potatoes and get it baked up. Now folks, this was easy enough. All I did was just make a simple roux. I added my cream to that and then mixed in the cheese once the cream started to steam a little bit. Once the cheese was melted, it was a little bit thick, so I added just a tiny bit more cream, about 1/4 of a cup. And I've got a nice thin liquid here. It's not too thin. It's got a thick side to it, but it's not too thick. All right? So we have a beautiful sauce that's going to work wonderful. I now have this ready to be put in the oven. It's all layered with potatoes and cheese, and I put the panko crumbs on top. Folks, I'm going to bake this for about the first 30 to 45 minutes covered. Put a nice cover on there. You can use foil if your dish has a glass cover, go with that. Whatever you have, cover it up. Bake it up for about 45 minutes at 350, uncover it, and then brown it. And that'll give us our beautiful browned, crispy topping. That's all finished up. Time for the oven. Okay, that's down in my oven now. It's in there at 350 degrees. I've got a lid on it. I'm going to bake it up. I'm going to leave it in there for about 45 minutes. Then I'm going to uncover it. Then I'm going to bake it for another, well, at least 15 minutes, maybe longer. A couple of things are going to determine how long I bake this and when I remove the lid. First of all, when I first take the lid off, I'm going to check those potatoes. I'm going to see if they are firm or soft. If they're firm, I'm going to put the lid back on and bake it a little longer. If they're soft, we'll leave the lid off. We'll let it brown in that oven. Folks, at this point, just be patient, set your timer, check it in 40 minutes. The total quantities on ingredients that I had today, that was a little over 2.5 pounds of potato. And I wanted slightly over because I knew once I peeled it, it would be slightly under. So you want an approximate 2.5 pounds of potatoes. You're going to need 1/4 of a cup of flour, 1/2 of a cup panko breadcrumbs, 3 tablespoons of butter. You're going to need salt to taste. And on this dish with all the cheese, it won't be much. So about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon on your salt. The cheese on this, any kind of cheese that you want to use, and you're going to be using up to about 8 ounces. So I had 4 ounces of Gouda and 4 ounces of extra sharp cheddar that I used, and 1.5 cups of heavy cream. That's your recipe. Now let's take a look at the finished dish. Come on. This is out of the oven and has a little time to cool. The dish is still fairly hot, so I have to be somewhat careful with it. Down here on the sides it's very hot. So I'm going to take this. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful au gratin potato. Just let him slide down a little right there. Folks, that is a gorgeous dish. Here it is, folks. Beautiful, beautiful dish. And the best part is, a delicious dish. This is something that, once you've tasted it, you're going to be coming back for some more. Oh man. Cheesy. That panko is still crunchy. The way we wanted. A nice crunchy crust. It worked. Total cooking time, not that tough. I cooked it for about an hour covered. Took the cover off, another 15 minutes. Browned up nicely. I took it out of the oven, and that's what we have here. This came out beautiful. It's exactly what you should be looking for in yours. And folks, please give this a try. Please share this recipe. Also, take a look at the channel if you haven't done that already. There's a lot of other recipes there, I mean a lot, and some really good ideas for you to try. Thank you for watching Texas Cooking Today. Please subscribe if you haven't. And folks, please have a good day. Bye-bye.